Hi there, my name is Sanjana Kettleball, and today I'm going to be walking through my hackathon submission for the topic of empowering students. My hackathon submission is called ClutterDump, and it's basically a project to help control teen anxiety. You might be wondering why I settled on the topic of teen anxiety. Well, I did some research and figured out that 32% of adolescents, which are people between the ages of 13 to 18, struggle with anxiety. And the worst part is that one of the biggest reasons is actually just school. As someone who often finds themselves feeling overwhelmed and stressed out during the school year, I feel like I've experienced anxiety firsthand, which is why my goal with ClutterDump is to help teens navigate anxiety by creating fun and entertaining tools. I use 3 languages in my code, one of which being HTML, then CSS, and then JavaScript. And I use the latest models for all of them respectively. I incorporated 5 buttons or tools in ClutterDump. Firstly, I created an Add Thought button, which is basically the way that a user can add one of their thoughts that is in their mind. They can keep on adding thoughts till they're feeling satisfied and they feel like their mind has been emptied out with all their thoughts. Then I incorporated a View Thoughts button, which is where the user can view all the thoughts that they've already entered in, and they can reflect on what they've put in. Then I incorporated a Clear Thoughts button, which is sort of a physical representation of clearing all the thoughts that might be in the user's head. And by clearing all the thoughts and being able to view all the thoughts that they have, this makes it seem very manageable and clearly visible for the user to declutter their mind. I also incorporated an Affirmations button, which is a way for the user to receive a small message that can hopefully help cheer them up to keep going on with their day. And lastly, a mini de-stress game, which is a game that's not very challenging at all. It's perfect for relieving stress, and it's where the user can just pop some pink bubbles. Now I'm going to be walking through my code. Okay, so now we're here with the code. Let me go first show the app so that you guys can see it. Let me run it first. Okay, so here's ClutterDump, and as you can see, I have my 5 buttons here. Firstly, I can add a thought. As you already mentioned, I can just enter any thought that I might have. I can say I'm stressed for exams. I can enter that thought. Maybe I can add another thought saying tired for class. Now that I've added thoughts, I can simply view the thoughts and see both of them here in the thought area. And then now that I see my thoughts and I can view them in a more manageable way, I can sort of feel like I have all my thoughts laid out. I can just clear them. And it'll ask me, are you sure? Do you want to clear your thoughts? And I can say, okay. And all my thoughts will be gone, which might make the user feel more relieved and be like, oh, all my thoughts in my head, they're gone. And now I'm going to click the affirmation button, which gives me a small message to hopefully keep me going with my day. Say here it says progress, not perfection. And lastly, the 5th button is a de-stress game, which gives the user some pink bubbles to pop. And it gives me a message saying you popped all the blobs. I can do it again. With a click of the mouse, you can help pop the bubbles. Okay, so now that we walked through all of these buttons, let's look at the actual code and see how I used it. So, as already mentioned, I used 3 languages, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, I'm not going to be going over all these languages super in depth and all the technicality because this is a very long piece of code, but I will be going through some of the basics of each coding language and how I incorporated it into this. Firstly, for HTML, HTML served the basic structure of the code. As you can see, the body, and it pretty much provided the overall structure as well as the game area and the thoughts. If you didn't know, here are the thought space. You know, whenever I clicked view thoughts, all my thoughts were visible in this area right next to the buttons. It also provided the game area, which is where we could play the game the tiny blobs game. Then for CSS determined the color scheme of the entire app using hexadecimal coding, which sort of provides the exact color using the sort of combination of letters and numbers. And it also helped me with the buttons. It provided like all the different margin size, the font size, spacing, as well as the cursor, sort of like the aesthetics of the entire app. And lastly, JavaScript helped and handled all of the interactivity of the code. So all of these functions are from Java. They all have interactive elements to it, and that's why we use Java, because Java has the most flexible options for making your code interactable. And as you can see here, I have 5 functions for each of my buttons. And I also have all my buttons labeled out here, connecting it to the function. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed ClutterDump.